Every empire believes it is different. Every system believes it has found a way to escape the fate of those before it. Every currency believes it will survive. It never does. And the United States is no exception. For over a century, America built the most powerful financial system the world has ever seen. Not just an economy, not just a nation, a system that the entire world depends on. The dollar became more than money. It became trust. It became stability. It became the backbone of global trade. Oil was priced in dollars. Nations traded in dollars. Central banks stored dollars. And the United States printed dollars. At first, there were limits. Every dollar was tied to something real. Gold, something scarce, something finite, something that could not be created out of nothing. But limits are a problem for power. In 1971, everything changed. Quietly, without chaos, without panic, the link was cut. And in that moment, money stopped being real. From that point forward, there was no constraint, only decisions. And decisions can be dangerous because when creating money becomes easy, stopping becomes impossible. At first, it feels like control. More money flows into the system. Markets rise. Credit expands. Growth accelerates. Everything feels stronger. But beneath the surface, something begins to shift. Debt, it starts slowly, manageable, contained, justified. Then it grows, faster, larger, heavier, until it becomes the system itself. Because debt is addictive. It allows you to solve problems today without paying the price today. But the price never disappears. It only moves into the future. And eventually, the future arrives. The United States kept borrowing, kept expanding, kept printing, because it could, because the world needed dollars, because the entire global system was built on that assumption. And for decades, it worked. Crisis after crisis, the same solution. Print more, lower rates, inject liquidity, stabilize everything. And every time, it looked like success. But it wasn't success. It was delay. Because printing money does not create wealth. It only redistributes it. Quietly, invisibly, relentlessly. From savers to debtors. From the future to the present. And eventually, the illusion begins to crack. At first, almost no one notices. Prices rise, slowly, then faster, then everywhere. Food becomes more expensive. Energy becomes more expensive. Housing becomes unreachable. And yet, the system continues. Because it has to. Because stopping would break everything. So it continues. More money, more debt, more expansion. And with each cycle, the effect becomes weaker. More is required to achieve less, until eventually, even that stops working. This is where things change. Not in headlines, not in one single moment, but in behavior. People begin to feel it, then they begin to react. They spend faster, they save less, they trust less, and trust is everything. Because money is not paper, it is belief. And belief can disappear. The dollar survives because the world believes in it, because nations depend on it, because trade requires it, because there is no alternative, until there is. And when that shift begins, it is slow, almost invisible. A country trades in another currency. A central bank reduces its exposure. A system begins to diversify. Small changes, but they accumulate. And once the process starts, it is almost impossible to reverse, because confidence does not collapse all at once. It erodes gradually, then suddenly. History has seen this pattern before. Empires rise, currencies dominate, systems expand, and then they collapse. Not because they were weak, but because they became too powerful, too confident, too dependent on their own illusion. Rome did not fall in a single day. Its currency did not collapse overnight. It was diluted, debased, expanded, until it no longer held value, until trust disappeared, until the system could no longer sustain itself. The same story repeats. Different empire, different currency, different time, same ending. Today, the United States sits at the center of everything. Its currency dominates global trade. Its financial system shapes the world. Its decisions ripple across every market. But beneath the surface, the same forces are building. Debt at levels never seen before. Money creation at historic extremes. A system that cannot slow down, because slowing down means collapse, but continuing only delays it. This is a paradox. There is no clean exit, no painless solution, no easy ending. Only time, only pressure, and eventually a breaking point. It may not look like disaster, at least not at first. It may look like stability, like control, like normality, until suddenly it doesn't. Confidence shifts, markets react, systems strain, and when trust breaks, everything follows, not with chaos, but with silence, a slow realization, a quiet panic, a system that no longer functions the way it used to. And by the time it becomes obvious, it is already too late, because collapse is not an event, it is a process that unfolds slowly, then all at once. The United States is not immune. No empire ever was. Because history does not care about power. It does not care about dominance. It does not care about belief. Every empire thought it was different. Every currency believed it would last. They were all wrong. And the dollar is not the exception. It is simply next. Every currency returns to zero. Eventually,